dedicated man of vision, wisdom, and a determined idea to bring a message to the black man in North America. Elijah Muhammad was a cultural scientist that offered the original man in the wilderness and ghettos of North America to go from being Negroes striving for civil equality with his slave master to black men and women with a renewed sense of pride and self-determination. Born Elijah Poole in 1897 in Sandersville, Georgia. Both his parents were sharecroppers. His father, William Poole, was a Baptist preacher, and his mother was a homemaker. It is said that Elijah had a third-grade education, leaving school to support his family. Before entering the fourth grade, he joined his family in sharecropping, as well as working in brickyards and in sawmills, leaving home at the age of 16 and began working in factories and other businesses. In 1917, he married Clara Evans, and they went on to have 8 children, 6 boys and 2 girls. In 1923, they became a part of what is known as the First Great Migration, the movement of millions of black people out of the oppressive and economically troubled rural southern United States into the urban northern East and Midwest in search of safety and employment. Elijah once recalled that before the age of 20, he had witnessed the lynching of 3 black men at the hands of white people, expressing that he had seen enough brutality by the white man to last him 26,000 years. Moving his parents, siblings, wife, and children, Elijah and his family settled in Michigan. He struggled through the 1920s and 30s as the economy suffered during the post-World War I and Great Depression eras. He began taking part in and studying various black nationalist movements in Detroit, and in 1931, his wife Clara encouraged him to attend a speech by W.D. Fard, also known as Wallace Fard Muhammad. Impressed by what he heard, he approached Mr. Fard Muhammad, beginning a 3.5-year teacher-student relationship with him. Fard taught that black people were the original people of the planet and had a vast, rich history that was stolen from them in their enslavement. Fard stated that black people could regain their freedom from their slave masters by becoming self-independent and cultivating their own culture and civilization. Elijah took to these teachings of Fard with a great interest due to his consciousness and his experience with black and white race issues. He studied with Mr. Wallace Fard Muhammad for 3.5 years and was encouraged to study 104 books at the Library of Congress, suggested by Fard. He was given the Muslim name Kareem, and later, at the instruction of Fard, he was given the name Muhammad, meaning one worthy of praise. During this 3.5-year period, W.F. Muhammad and Elijah Muhammad developed what is called the Supreme Wisdom, a set of texts, questions, answers, and statements asked by the teacher W.F. Muhammad, testing his student Elijah Muhammad. Elijah would become head of the nation's Temple No. 2 in Chicago. W.D. Fard left mysteriously in 1934, leaving Elijah to fend for his position as leader, battling for position with other potential leaders, including his own brother, for the growing group of followers known as the Allah Temple of Islam. Elijah would take control of Temple No. 1 and change its name from the Allah Temple of Islam to the Nation of Islam, teaching its followers that Allah had come in the person of Fard Muhammad to teach his teachings of salvation. During that same year, in 1934, the Nation of Islam published its first newspaper, The Final Call to Islam, and established the Muhammad University of Islam in Detroit, Michigan, an elementary school which taught mathematics, astronomy, and the general knowledge of civilization. This led to challenges by the Board of Education in Detroit and Chicago, which considered the students of the school to be truants from the public school system. The controversy led to the arrest and jailing of the University of Islam board members, as well as Elijah Muhammad, causing violent confrontations with the police in 1934. Elijah was put on probation, yet the universities remained opened. By 1974, there were 47 schools across the country and is said to be the first attempt at homeschooling by black families. Much controversy followed Mr. Muhammad throughout the years as several government agencies put him under surveillance. In 1942, he was arrested for failure to register during the draft of World War II. He was released on bail and fled to Chicago, where he was later arrested and charged with 8 counts of sedition, which means he organized and spoke against the establishment and instructing his followers not to register for the draft or serve in the armed forces. He was found guilty and served 4 years from 1942 to 1946. Following his return, he would build the Nation of Islam, establishing businesses, schools, reforming drug addicts, prostitutes, and the downtrodden black men and women of North America, giving them the sense of pride and belonging. Students of his teachings would go on to become prominent contributors to Black America, from Malcolm X to Muhammad Ali, Allah, the father of the 5% nation, Louis Farrakhan, just to name a few. His teaching strongly suggested separation of the black nation from white America, which is different from segregation, which suggests excluding black people from the spoils of white America, but still keeping black people dependent on white America to protect the interests of black people. Knowing the success of this kind of system would be unlikely, Elijah was against integration. While civil rights leaders fought for integration, which puts everyone together, leaving black people still fighting to be close and equal in white America. He wanted the so-called American Negro to become independent of white America, building our own, to be capable of doing equal trading with white America and the world at large. Elijah Muhammad's teachings would galvanize communities across the world, especially in North America, guiding the Nation of Islam to own grocery stores, bakeries, nightclubs, laundromats, coffee shops, printing shops, numerous real estate holdings, tractor-trailer fleets, in addition to farmland in Michigan, Alabama, and Georgia. In 1972, the Nation of Islam took the controlling interest in Guarantee Bank and Trust. During the same year, Elijah told his followers that the Nation of Islam had a net worth of $75 million. On February 25th, 1975, at the age of 77, Mr. Muhammad returned to his essence in Mercy Hospital in Chicago, Illinois, leaving behind an empire that his followers and family members struggled to keep together, with splits and factions developing after his death. Although much controversy surrounds his name, a close examination of his works and the legacy he left behind, it is clear that Elijah Muhammad is certainly a great contributor to our history in Black.
I like this synth, Mega. Do it again.